Alright, so in this lesson we're going to talk about evaluating one-step equations, and there's not really anything new in this lesson that you're learning, but what you're learning to do is to put everything from the last week all together. So your goal for today is I can use one-step equations to evaluate another equation. So remember, if I'm going too fast, you can rewind, pause, or fast forward. Alright, so here we go. We're going to do a quick review of some basic one-step equations. I've mixed them up, so you'll need to determine whether you're doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So no matter what kind you're doing, you always start by putting a box around the variable. The second thing you ask is what is attached to it, and in this case it's a minus 3, so the opposite of minus is plus 3. And whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other, so plus 3. Minus 3 plus 3 cancels, and you bring down your x equals, and 8 plus 3 is 11. And you should always go back and check. So up here you would have 11 minus 3 equals 8, and 11 minus 3 is 8 equals 8, and everything checks out perfectly with that one. Alright, so let's move on over here. So we're going to put a box around the variable. So what's attached to it? It's a 7, and because they're next door neighbors, they're being multiplied to each other. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to set up 2 division bars. And we're going to divide by that number that's attached to it, so 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so they cancel, and you're left with x equals, and 42 divided by 7 is 6. And as always, you should go back and check. So 7 times 6 equals 42. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 equals 42. The solution works. Alright, let's move down here. So x plus 10 equals 38. Put a box around the variable. Alright, and what's attached to the variable? It's a plus 10. What's the opposite of plus? Minus. So we're going to do minus 10. And we do it to both sides because that's the golden rule. 10 minus 10 is 0, so that cancels. You're left with x equals. And 38 minus 10 is 28. And you should always get in the habit of checking your work. So we would have 28 plus 10 equals 38. 28 plus 10 is 38. 38 equals 38, and the solution is valid. Alright, over here you have 2 over 3, x equals 12. So you put a box around the variable. Now you have a fraction that's being multiplied to the x. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide by 2 over 3. And over here you're going to divide by 2 over 3. Now when you do tic-tac-toe with these, they're going to cancel each other out. So 2 over 3 divided by 2 over 3. We're going to do a quick tic-tac-toe. And you have keep, change, flip. So it's 2 over 3 times 3 over 2, which is going to give you 6 over 6, which equals 1. So they're going to cancel out. And you're left with x equals. Now over here you need to do another tic-tac-toe. And you have keep, change, flip. So you keep the 12, change to multiplication, flip this guy around. He's going to give you 3 over 2. Put this guy over 1. Now 12 times 3 is 36. 1 times 2 is 2. And that can simplify. 36 divided by 2. You do it in your calculator and you get 18. So your answer is x equals 18. Now don't get lazy just because it's fractions. I need you to go ahead and check this guy as well. So it's 2 over 3 times 18 equals, what was it? 12. Okay, so multiply them. 2 times 18 is 36. 3 times 1 is 3. Equals 12. 36 divided by 3, you put in your calculator, you get 12 equals 12. The solution works. All right, that was a quick review. Now let's put this all together into action. So you're going to be given a sentence with two equations in it. So if 9x equals 81, find the value of 3x minus 2. Now don't get confused. I want you to find the mathematical sentence that has the equal sign. So does this one right here have an equal sign? No. Does this one? Yes. Put a box around it or highlight it, okay? This is the first one that you're going to solve. So 9x equals 81, okay? What do? Box the variable, okay? There's multiplication going on here with the 9, so we're going to do the opposite, which is division. We're going to divide by 9, okay? The 9's cancel out. You're left with x equals, what's 81 divided by 9? 9. Now, what you do is take this x equals 9 and put it into this guy over here. So, 3, instead of x, you're going to put 9 minus 2. Let's go ahead and solve. You have to do multiplication before subtraction, order of operations. 3 times 9 is 27. Bring down the rest of the problem. 27 minus 2 is 25. So the answer to this problem is 25. Okay? It's multiple steps. All right, let's try this one. What is the value of n to the second power plus 1 if n minus 8 equals 2? Look at both of the mathematical sentences. Which one has the equal sign? Does this one have an equal sign? No. Does this one? Yes. Put a box around it. Solve this one first. N minus 8 equals 22. Put a box around the variable. What's attached to it? A minus 8. What's the opposite of minus 8? Plus 8. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Golden rule. Minus 8 plus 8 cancels out, and you're left with n equals 22 plus 8 is 30. N equals 30, but that's not the answer to your problem. Now, take this and plug it back in here. So, n to the second power plus 1. So, instead of n, I'm going to write 30 to the second power plus 1. Now, you have a calculator. I'm going to get my calculator out. Go ahead and do 30 to the second power. And you should get 900 plus 1, which would give you 901. And that is the answer to your problem. All right, let's try another one. If 6a equals 42, what is the value of 2a minus 4? Find the mathematical sentence that has the equal sign, okay? So, does this have the equal sign? Yes. Does this? No. Put a box around it. Solve this one first. 6a equals 42. Put a box around the variable. What's attached to it? It's a 6. It's being multiplied, so we're going to divide because division is the opposite of multiplication. Divide by the number that's attached to the variable, which is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. You're left with a equals 42 divided by 6 is 7. But that's not the answer to your problem yet. Then you have to take this and plug it back into here. So you have 2a minus 4. 2, instead of a, put in the 7, minus 4. 2 times 7 is 14. The reason why I did that first instead of the subtraction is because order of operations tells you multiplication goes before subtraction. Minus 4. 14 minus 4 is 10. 10 is the answer to your problem. Okay. If 4x equals 12, evaluate 3x minus x to the second power. So, which one has the equal sign? Does this one? No. Does this one? Yes. Put a big box around it or highlight it. Solve this one first. 4x equals 12. Put a box around your variable. What's attached to it? It's a 4. It's being multiplied. The opposite is division. Put a division bar and then 4. Remember, you have to do it to both sides. That's the golden rule. 4 divided by 4 is 1. It cancels out and you're left with x equals. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now, you're not done yet. You have to take this and plug it back in here. 3x minus x to the second power. So 3, and instead of x I write 3, minus, instead of this x I write 3 to the second power. Order of operations tells us to do exponents first. So 3 times 3 minus 3 to the second power. 3 times 3 is 9. Then I do multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. 0 is your answer. Okay, let's try this one here. What is the value of x minus 5 if x over 5 equals 10? Which one has the equal sign? Does this one? No. Does this one? Yes. Put a box around it. This is the one you're going to solve first. X over 5 equals 10. Put a box around the variable. What's attached to it? A 5 by division, because there's a division bar. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So you multiply times 5, but you do it to both sides because that's the golden rule. Now you have 5x over 5. What's 5 divided by 5? 1. It cancels out. You have x equals, what's 10 times 5? 50. But that's not the answer to your problem yet. You have to go back and plug it into the second part of the problem. So we have x minus 5. Well, x is 50, so 50, always in parentheses, minus 5, and your answer is 45. Okay, we have another one here. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you need to pause the video or rewind. If x plus 6 equals 11, find the value of 23 plus 2x. Which one has the equal sign? This one? No. This one? Yes. Put a box around it. Solve this one first. X plus 6 equals 11. Put a box around the variable. Now, this is a plus 6, so what's the opposite? Minus 6. But whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So 6 minus 6 is 0. It goes away. X equals, what's 11 minus 6? 5. So x equals 5. But you're not done because you have to plug it into the rest of the problem. 23 plus 2x. 23 plus 2, instead of the x, I'm going to put the 5, always in parentheses. If I didn't put parentheses, that would look like 25, but it's really 2 times 5. Order of operations tells me to do multiplication before addition. So 2 times 5 is 10. Bring down the rest of the problem. 23 plus 10 is 33, and that is the answer to your problem. Okay, what is the value of 2 plus 6 over x times x if 32x equals 64? Don't freak out just because you see lots of parentheses. It's an easy problem. Which one has an equal sign? This one right here. Put a box around it. Bring it down and solve. Oops. 32x equals 64. Put a box around the variable. What's attached to it? 32. So how do I get rid of it? Well, if it's being multiplied, I have to divide by 32. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 32 divided by 32 cancels out. X equals 64 divided by 32 is 2. But that is not the answer to our problem. We have to then go and plug it back in. So up here we have 2 plus 6 over x times x. So 2 plus 6 over 2 times 2. Okay, let's solve the top first. So 2 plus 6 is 8 over 2 times 2 is 4. How do I simplify 8 over 4? It's 2. So the answer to your problem is 2. Alright, that is the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, make sure that you ask me, but you can also rewind, fast forward, and pause going back over it.